Thank you so much for joining me for the Smarter Social Show film. So excited to have you on today.
Thanks for having me.
Amazing. So, first of all, we're going to kick off by sharing your results of how you've got over, I believe it's 100,000 followers on Instagram alone, right?
Yeah, so I'm a pediatrician and I do a lot of content around parents and parenting and pediatric issues. And over the years, I've grown to a little over 100,000 followers on Instagram. And then the other platforms, honestly, I haven't given as much attention to. I have a decent TikTok following and Facebook following, but all of them are way overshadowed by Instagram.
Such an incredible success. So, a little about your business. You mentioned you're a pediatrician. So, do you own a clinic? How does your business run, and what is your kind of business model for people that are interested?
So, a couple things. One, I have a pediatric clinic in Lincoln, Nebraska, where we take care of pediatric patients for all the typical pediatric things. But then I also have a online business where I sell courses and parent trainings for parents that are not local here but want help with parenting, parenting advice, and those sorts of things.
So, when you started on social media, what were your main business goals? Or were you just thinking, I need social media because everybody has it?
A little bit of both. So I think there's so much information online that it's really challenging for parents. And I felt like I like teaching, and I felt like this would be a good way to get in front of parents where they are, which is on their phones, and to be able to provide lots of helpful education around the issues that they're facing, and also to grow my brand and my practice and those sort of things that come with being intentionally online.
Amazing. So, were you thinking, okay, I need to reach a certain amount of followers, or I need to drive traffic, or I need more revenue? What was it? Because there's so many things that you can do, right?
Right.
What was it you were mainly focused on? You thought, okay, this is going to move the needle the most at the beginning when you first started social.
In the beginning, it was actually just to educate parents because I found that there was so much misinformation out there that I really wanted to be able to be a voice of like, hey, here's what we think as pediatricians, and here's how we practice. And then that grew into, well, I think I can help in a larger way from a revenue perspective for myself while also helping parents that are in need of good advice. And then I started my own pediatric clinic 4 years ago after having worked in another practice. So it's kind of a bunch of different things that being online has helped me to reach parents that I can support and help both locally and around the country and around the world.
So, where did you start? Did you think, okay, I need a content strategy? I want to help these parents and I really want to educate them and give them a lot of value. Did you think, okay, how do I do this? Do I create kind of static posts? Do I create reels? What was your content strategy to be able to provide this much value and gain this many followers?
When I first started, reels weren't even a thing, if you can believe that. And so it was a lot of static image posts back when Instagram, like this is pre carousel, even, where it was just a static image posts. And I started doing a lot of those. And actually, the most effective ones were just a sticky note that I wrote on and then I stuck it somewhere and took a picture of that. But then over time, when stories started and really took off and reels took off, I've kind of migrated to the majority of my views these days are from my stories, first and foremost, and then reels and then carousels are the three places in that order, like in terms of engagement views as stories, and then reels and then carousels.
So, I'm just curious, how come your stories are getting so many views? Because maybe somebody that's new to social media or somebody that's thinking, wait, how are your stories getting more views than your reels? So, how are you doing this?
So yeah, when I look, I was kind of surprised by that too, honestly. But when I look at my metrics and like Instagram tells you, like what's it been like for the past 30 days, 50% of my views are in stories. And the reason for that is because I post like 10 stories every single day. And I actually, I mean, not to toot your own horn of SmarterQueue, but I actually almost never post stories myself. I just use SmarterQueue to automate it so that every day, no matter what I'm doing, 10 stories go out in the afternoon that then get views and views and views. And so in a given day, if those stories each get 5,000 views per story, then that really ticks up quickly. Whether or not it was a good day for a reel or a carousel or something along those lines, there's just a consistent 1 to 10,000 views per story every day. And so that actually racks up quite a bit when it comes to overall views.
Wow. So are you putting any hashtags on your stories or music, or is it just
No,
basic
they're the
stories?
most basic ones. Honestly, what I do is every couple of weeks I'll do like a ask me anything sort of story, and then like a sticker, and then people ask the questions, I just answer them with the plain background that's like the, the little bit of color in the background and me just typing on my phone or on my iPad to answer those questions. I save those, put them into SmarterQueue, and then just put them on recycle, recycle, recycle. And so they're the most plain Jane boring real stories that you could ever look at. There's no fancy pictures. It's just text and questions. There's no stickers or music added. They are as boring and as basic as you can get.
Wow. Wow. So people maybe that aren't familiar with SmarterQueue, because you mentioned SmarterQueue, how would you say that that has helped your strategy? And how would you describe SmarterQueue to somebody that's in your industry or in your niche and how it could help?
For me, it allows me to keep posting even when I'm busy in clinic or with my family or doing all the other things because it makes it super easy to just load content in that you create and know that it's going to keep going out over and over again without me having to touch it. Like I tell people every day when I'm talking with them about, if you want to grow your own brand and show up on social media, if I got hit by a bus tomorrow, I would still put out 10 stories and a reel and a carousel. And then the next day I would put out 10 more stories and a reel and a carousel. And somebody would have to go in and figure out how to turn it off because otherwise I would just keep posting, from the grave. And so what that does for me is it allows me to stay focused on what I need to, but know that I still have a consistent presence online. And it hasn't been weeks since I posted last because the content that I create shows up again and again. And it stretches it. So I make a reel. And instead of just one time, 3 months ago, that reel went out, it got so many views. And then, well, that was all that was worth. It goes out consistently again and again over time so that I keep getting more bang for that buck that I originally spent. I have one reel that usually gets between 100,000 and 500,000 views. That is just a video that I took of our bathroom sink. It's 7 seconds long. It's just the bathroom sink water running. And then I put over the top of it something specific about norovirus, which is a GI virus that causes vomiting and diarrhea and those sorts of fun things. And just said on that, like, hey, if you are worried about norovirus, don't use hand sanitizer. That doesn't work. You have to use soap and water. And that reel just goes out every quarter or so. And every quarter or so, there's a norovirus outbreak somewhere. So, despite me not having put any more work into that for over a year, it's still getting hundreds of thousands of views for me because I don't have to remember to go in and post it again. It just automatically does it.
That's don't get hit by a bus, by the way. Don't do that. Posted from the grave. So then from those viral reels that you have that you just made once, you uploaded into SmarterQueue and just keep getting recycled to new people, that's driving traffic, I guess, to your digital products and
Right.
your clinic. It's just kind of like set it and forget it.
Oh, it's very much set it and forget it and have it keep working for you while you're doing all the other things.
Wow. And you mentioned you put text over the top of your second video. Is that another tool that you use, or do you do that within SmarterQueue? What is your kind of content process?
So usually what I'll do, I use either CapCut, which is a TikTok company product that's free, or InShot to actually produce the videos. And so I'll take a video, I'll edit it, and if I want to add music or anything along those lines, I'll do that and then put the text over it and then just download it on my phone and then upload it into SmarterQueue either from my phone or from my tablet or from my desktop and put it on there, write the copy, and then send it off.
Incredible. So, what kind of results are you seeing from this? You mentioned that you had over 500,000 views on this norovirus reel. What kind of results are you getting from this automated process? Because I think a lot of people think that you need to permanently be on these platforms. You need
Mm,
to be on Instagram. You need to be posting on there. You need to be taking photos and selfies everywhere and
right.
uploading so many stories. But how are you doing this?
What it does for me is it helps me to get in front of my ideal new audience and provide them with value and make them feel heard and understood. And then eventually they have enough issues with their doctor or they're struggling with parenting advice that they say, okay, I've seen him. He shows up consistently. He gives good advice that makes sense. I'm going to do one of his online courses, or I'm going to, if I'm local, come to his clinic, or those sorts of things. It just makes it really easy to consistently meet people where they are and provide value to the point that they say, okay, I really need help. I'm going to turn to this pediatrician that I've seen online that keeps showing up and providing sound advice that makes sense for me and makes me feel understood and supported.
It's amazing. So you're everywhere. You're everywhere all at once.
I try to be, yeah.
How many kind of views are you getting on average, or what is your biggest success of how many views that you've got maybe per week or per month? How are you measuring it?
I honestly don't keep up well enough with like the views and everything like that. I find that social media for me is just like a distraction in a way that makes me think worse about my fellow humans. And so from a business standpoint, it really helps and makes a big deal, but I don't like to spend a lot of time on there myself. I usually just try and look on the monthly basis at where things are at. And it's usually consistently from organic around 2 million views. And it's just a smattering of different videos that do well. Once they've been up a few times, I know which ones are going to do really well when they come back up in the queue. But that's my overall is I try not to, I just use it as a business tool and not a way to, look at vanity metrics or those sorts of things. I get to hear from patients that come into my office, lots of different things that they saw or learned from my content online and how it's helped them. So that's what kind of like are the big key performance indicators for me that it's helping and making a difference.
I love that. I love that because a lot of people are focused on these vanity metrics. Like to hear that you have 2 million views, that's incredible. But then it's like the impact that you're making with your content is beyond the view.
Yeah.
So would you say to somebody that is in a similar industry to you that wants to start on their social media journey, where should they start first? Do you think that where you started with making the educational content was the right place to start? Or looking back now from where you are being super successful, would you kind of look back at your journey and think, okay, maybe I would do this first?
I think I would focus on educational material, but I would be as niche as you can when it comes to what you actually do for the people that you take care of or that you serve. And I would really go deep on the specific things that you are able to do, your approach, where your area of expertise is, because that's what people are looking for online is the nuances and to understand at a deep level the things that are on their minds. And so I think that would be my best advice is to rather than going really broad, I would focus on a very specific area and deep dive there.
And how long would you say that somebody should take to make the content? Do you batch create your content? Do you think, okay, I'm going to shoot this video of the sink? And did you have the idea of like, okay, this is going to be for norovirus? Or do you have like a little B-roll? What is the.
I wish I was that organized. It usually just strikes me in the moment, and I'll like write down the copy on Apple Notes and then put it with the video and those sorts of things when I have a free moment. I should do more batching. I teach other doctors that are trying to get on social media to batch, but I'm just terrible at actually doing that myself. I try and give myself 10 minutes a day to market myself and my practice and then move on with all the other important things. And so some days that looks like creating a reel. Sometimes that looks like we're reaching out to a referral source, those sorts of different items. But the nice thing is, I know that no matter what I do, and if I don't do anything, that there's still like I don't feel the nag to constantly be, I got to create something, I got to create something, I got to create something because I always have that baseline layer of content that's going to keep going out no matter what I'm doing.
That's incredible. It's so inspiring. So, would you say to put maybe like 100% effort into educational and then to have a call to action with, if you want to learn more, then visit me here? What is
Yeah.
the way that you're driving people from social media to your offers with mostly educational content?
Typically, it's if you want to learn more or if you want even more resources, comment such and such or check out my link in bio or something along those lines. That it makes it feel very less salesy and more if you want to learn even more, come along and here's the next resource that's available to you.
It's perfect. And did you try any other tools before finding SmarterQueue, or how did it kind of come into your radar?
So I think I've been on SmarterQueue since like 2019 or so. I left once to try Later, which is another similar kind of scheduling software, and bounced right back to SmarterQueue. And I haven't looked elsewhere otherwise because it just works. And that's where all my content is. and it makes it so easy. And I know my processes, and I can fire off a reel from start of recording to completely edited and finished and posted in under 10 minutes. And it allows me to focus on all the other things that are important to me outside of showing up on social media.
It's amazing that you're able to get this much reach in just 10 minutes a day.
I just try and keep it really boring and unexciting, and I try not to make it flashy or anything like that. All my content, I mean, I have a box and drawers full of different tools and videos and or cameras and microphones and all those sorts of things. But at the end of the day, everything is just on my phone, and that's where all my content comes from, and that's where I create all my content is just from my phone, because at the end of the day, I just need to say what I need to say really quickly and get it out there rather than making it perfect or beautiful or well edited or posed or lighting perfect. It's just more important to get the message out there, and that has worked well for me.
I agree. So there's other doctors that might be thinking, okay, I feel so inspired. I want to get the same results as Phil. Would you recommend like just filming themselves? What about if they don't want to be on camera?
Yeah,
Because you're very, very good on camera. What
it's
would
taken
you
a while to it's taken a while to get there, but I think for most people, getting on camera is really helpful. But if you don't feel up to that, then starting with kind of the B-roll sort of stuff, where you take a video that's 10 seconds of almost anything you can take a picture of or a video of. I've done videos of like a pot of soup on our kitchen stove that's cooking, just to like see, can this, do people still resonate with this? And they do. And then you just put the video, the text that you want to share, and keep it short and succinct over the top of it, and then post it. And that's really all you need to do to get started. When people see that and they resonate with your message, they'll like it, they'll share it with their friends, they'll save it, and that will tell the algorithm that this is what this person talks about, and let's push this out to more people that might like it.
It's interesting because you're so big on Instagram. Have you ever thought, okay, with SmarterQueue, I can publish my videos to all other platforms, maybe like YouTube or TikTok? Have you ever been curious to see how you do on those other platforms? Or are you just thinking that actually my strategy is to focus and double down on Instagram?
My strategy, my success has mostly been on Instagram. And so I have thought about putting it out on the other platforms, but I see the most return for my investment on Instagram. And so it's just, I try and not get distracted by all the other things. And especially with all the TikTok stuff, I didn't really know if that was a worthwhile time to spend. I mean, it seems like it's going to be around. I don't know. But so far it's mostly been Instagram, and that's been enough for me. But to your point, it's probably worthwhile to just click the little button to also post to YouTube Shorts and to also post to TikTok, because it's pretty seamless and easy once you connect your account to just do that. So that's a fair point that I should probably just click that and then see what happens.
You never know. It could be like YouTube famous
I
next
know that
week.
would probably actually be the best.
So, is there anything else that you'd want to share with anyone that may be thinking, okay, I really want to get started with this, or maybe they're in a position where they've tried social media for a few months or a few weeks and think, hey, it didn't work for me?
Right.
What would you tell those people?
I would tell them to work on crafting a compelling message that really gets into the weeds of what they want to do and who they want to help. And especially if you're in healthcare or related field like that, to really focus on educating, correcting misinformation, and sharing your specific approach. And that will really drive people's interest in you, is if they feel like, oh, this is kind of different. This isn't something that I've heard before, or they haven't spoken it this clearly before. Those are the big things that I think drive people to follow you and engage with your content, and then eventually take you up on whatever your offer might be.
And how has social media impacted your life from before social media, before posting to now? What is the difference that it's made?
It's helped me to grow my practice. It's helped me to grow my businesses, and it's helped me to reach more people. And for me, like teaching people how to be better parents is something that's really one of my main missions. Social media has allowed me to do that in a lot of different ways, to reach a lot of people and to help inspire them and make them feel like they can parent the way that they want to, even though it's hard. So I think those are the main biggest differences for me pre social media and, you know, the way I do things now.
It's so impactful. I can see like from your smile. So If anyone is listening to this and they're thinking, okay, I really am curious, I want to get started on social media, then I'll put it in a little graphic up here or up here, I don't know which side it will be on, with Phil's unique link to try out SmarterQueue. If you try out SmarterQueue any other way, you'll get 14 days for free. But if you click on Phil's link, then you will have 30 days for free, free onboarding, and a free strategy call as well. There's no credit card needed. You just go in, try it out, and see if you like it, and let us know what you think. And Phil, for anyone that's listening that wants to connect with you, that wants to follow you, that wants to learn more about what you do, where can they find you?
I mostly post on Instagram, so it's at Phil Boucher MD on Instagram is really the place to find me.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.